Today is the Feast of St. Joseph of Cupertino. I was saying that wood sculpture over there, I throw these, when these things start falling, they get to be everywhere. And there's such a nice, pretty pretty bright green color that I would throw them into that sculpture there. And to me, in my imagination, it kind of looked like it was a decorated Christmas tree with green little bulbs, green little whatever. So anyway, today is the Feast of St. Joseph of Cupertino. I gave a talk about him. I was asked to give a talk about some saints. He was one of them, and I always remember his name. But I reread the saints each day for the last year and something. And I remembered, and his name came up today. So, oh, by the way, when I say today is the Feast of Saint So-and-so, you're probably hearing it 1, 2, 3 days later, so you'll have to do the math. Saint Joseph was born in 1602, died in 1662 in Cupertino, Italy. His father was a carpenter who died before he was born. His mother got evicted, and he ended up born in a stable. He started having ecstasies where his mouth would be agape and he'd be staring off like into space, which I'm imagining is staring off into heaven. And he would have these ecstasies where he wouldn't be able to be brought back. He had a hot temper, which I can imagine as a child, this would be very stressful for him, and that could account for a hot temper. His mother tried to work on his discipline. He became a shoe apprentice maker, couldn't do that. I guess because of the ecstasies. He had little education. He tried to get into a few orders. The Capuchins, the Franciscans finally took him in. But anything would set him off religiously. The name of God, Trinity, the story of the Passion of Christ, church bells, church music. And then he would go into these things, and nobody could shake him out of it. Finally, he got into an order, allowed him to stay there. And the only thing that would bring him out of his ecstasies would be his superior coming and telling him, Joseph, come back, or whatever. However, when the superior gave him a command to come back, he did. So interestingly, when God says, come listen to me, he does. And then God says, remember, God tells us, we also have to obey our parents and our teachers and our coaches and government officials. So when his superior said, come back, he came back, because this would be distracting for everybody. He couldn't say mass because, again, distraction. Anything would set him off. He couldn't sing in the choir. They got him his own separate room where he could say mass privately. He stayed there and prayed, and he endured this blessing, this allowing him to go in and enter into heaven momentarily for all his life. And he took it as what it is, a gift, not annoying, but a disruptive gift, but a gift nonetheless from God. He would also levitate and float in the air. So his patronage is for all things airmen, pilots, air crews, paratroopers, I believe, also students and school children and test takers. So any young people, you could ask Saint Joseph to pray for you for a good test after you've done your studies. Don't think you can get away with studying without studying by just praying. What else? Yeah. So St. Joseph of Cupertino, pray for us. And if you're about to take a trip, remember to say a little air trip. Remember to say a little prayer and ask St. Joseph of Cupertino to intercede with God and ask for your safe travels to and fro. And as I said before, you are now ready to board.